Welcome to Believe in the Cowboys. I am Jeff Cavanaugh alongside former Dallas Cowboy wide receiver Jesse Holley, Mr. Fourth and Long. I am in Oxnard, California. Jesse Holley is, I do believe, in Colombia teaching people football. What are you doing in Colombia exactly?
I am. I put on my own sports clinic in Cartagena, Colombia. So I'm teaching the people, the good people of Colombia, about American football. We're also doing track and field. We're also doing volleyball. So this is the start of something that I hope and believe will grow into something much larger. I want to bring boxing. I want to bring basketball and baseball and all those good things. But I want to start with the sport that I love the most, football, and see if we can't make this thing stick.
Oh, that is kick ass. Well, I am live in Oxnard, California. Technically, I'm in Ventura, California, right next to Oxnard for Cowboys training camp, where we'll have a Mike McCarthy press conference here in about an hour and a half, and then we'll have another practice, and we'll talk about all the things that are going down. I want to thank our peoples at BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today, or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code, BELIEVE50, BLEAV50, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. I also need people who are watching this live to tell me, is the connection good? Because yesterday I tried to do a show with Dave Hellman from here in the hotel room, and it was watchable and it was listenable, but we were having a bunch of cutting out, and I think it was because of the hotel Wi-Fi. And I'm currently powering this show with my phone, so I just need to see.
This is people to understand. This is how much we love what we do. This is how much we love you and want to bring you the content. Jeff has bad hair. I have bad face, but we are here faithfully on two different coasts in two different countries, bringing you the latest and greatest of Cowboy news. We about this life. Y'all understand? We about this life, man. We are really about this life. Our Wi-Fi may not be as great. I'm like in a country who may not have the greatest of Wi-Fis. He's in a hotel in the States where I don't know why they don't have great Wi-Fi in the States. But this is what we do, man. We are bringing it to you live with sleepy hair and sleepy face, but we rocking and rolling, man, and I'm excited.
So the thing about the hair is I decided when I looked in the mirror that even though it is bed hair, I thought it kind of looked good. And I was like, I'm going to rock this. I'm going to rock the tall hair today. So we've already got a couple people in the super chat. Kilgore, Micah Parsons, he said, is not only a stud on the field, he's a goat off of it. Just learned he's going to be giving school bags away before school, and he's going to be pumping people's gas. I love this guy more and more every day. Reggie Hart in the super chat, just in the super chat. Appreciate you, Reggie. And Alex.
PSA, if you or your wife or your baby mother or whoever else, this is coming from Jay Holley. If you guys have been in the clubs all year, have been buying Balenciaga all summer, have been taking extravagant and lavish trips all across the country this summer, don't come get these free book bags. Don't come get Micah Parsons free book bags. You leave that stuff to the people who actually need these free book bags. I know a lot of you, especially from the ones from my community. I know you guys. You spend your money all year on popping bottles in the club, and you're buying fancy jewelry and fancy clothes and waiting around for these athletes to have these free giveaways. I was about to say a cuss word. Don't bring y'all tails down there. Getting these free book bags. You got enough money now. It ain't nothing for you to go to Walmart and get your own kid a book bag. All right, little Johnny and little Tamika and little June and them, they've been at their grandmother's house all summer. Go pick them up, take them to Walmart, Target, get their own damn book bag. Don't be down here at these athletes. Free giveaway book bag places for people who actually need them. All right, I'm sorry.
Jesse, people like free stuff, man.
I know.
People like free stuff. Just because I made bad decisions prior doesn't mean I don't need my free stuff, okay? Damn it. Which young wideout do the Cowboys have that has the type of heart and grit of a Jesse Holley type, from Alex? There is no way to measure heart and grit when they don't even have pads on yet. I'm gonna tell you that. Uh, their wide receiver group is so interesting because they brought in Cavanaugh Turpin, who is so freaking tiny. He does not look like I don't know. When all the receivers are standing together, he's way down here, and he's like that big around. It's like he's tiny. He's a little tiny guy. And then TJ Vasher is like 6'6". Dude out of Texas Tech is a giant. He made a nice catch yesterday that he made because he's 6'6" and long as hell. And then James Washington's built like a running back. It's such a weird looking wide receiver group. But TJ Vasher did something nice yesterday. I thought Jalen Tolbert was nice yesterday. Who's the guy wearing number 3, Dave? Houston? Daniel Houston made a couple of nice plays yesterday. He ain't going to make the team. But if you want to know everything that happened at camp, there you go. There's you some wide receiver names.
And let me be perfectly honest with you all, okay? Like, I get the whole, heart and grit and all that kind of good stuff. That don't last in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you that right now. All right, you can have all the heart and grit you want.
You don't make the team.
No skills. If you ain't got no skills, or you don't have skills good enough to last, that heart and grit goes right out the window real quickly. So I appreciate those that thought I had heart and grit, but that only lasts for so long. You can only heart and grit your way for so long, and it'll get you a couple checks. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to be able to bring something more than just a little bit of heart and grit to this thing. You're going to have some skills, some playmaking ability. Speed always helps. Being able to work your way in space. I mean, trust me, heart and grit, cool. If you ain't got no skills, that's going to be out the NFL door real quick.
Well, to that point, Jesse, they brought in Cavanaugh Turpin because he runs a 4.3 and can return kicks and punts and run real fast. And they released Nick Ralston, who's a really nice fullback, and I'm sure he's a sweet, sweet man, and he was trying his very best at playing fullback. And they're like, right, but this dude can run real fast and maybe help our football team. So you're going to have to go try real hard with your real estate business. And but thank you for stopping by. So get your questions in. If you have any about Cowboys training camp, it's so early in it. They don't have pads on yet, so it's really hard to have too many takeaways. Like Jesse, I always kept in mind because I'm watching, and like Dante Fowler wins around the corner for what would have been a sack. Sam Williams whips a dude inside and gets held and would have drawn a penalty. And it's like, all right, but I'm going to remember the Jesse Holley credo. Don't be going too nuts about this offensive and defensive line play until they slap the pads on. So I'm watching the offensive and defensive line, and it's cool to be able to see which guys kind of have some juice and how they move. But the idea of, like, is he blocking well or is he beating blockers well is like, I ain't going to put too much stock into it yet, although I will tell you both your left guards looked bad yesterday.
And I'll say this, and you and Dave, what up, Dave? Dave's in the background. What's up, baby? What's going on, brother?
Can we see Dave?
We can see his arm. But, you see Dave's trying. What's up, baby?
Dave coming back there.
Shout out to my boy Kevin Gray Sports. First of all, I don't have braids, Kevin. I have locks, and my locks are actually real. That's why they look better than Jimmy Butler's. But we won't get into that. But yes, you've been around a guy like Tyron Smith, Jeff, and I think people don't understand Tyron Smith for an elbow. I don't know what you want to call that, brace.
He wears a knee brace as an elbow brace.
It's a human leg brace. So understanding how big of a man Tyron Smith is, and when he gets his hands on you, it's a little bit different when he has a padded area to hit and he can really, really, really rough you up. Oh, and that goes for other guys as well. I will say this. No more in camp, honestly. No more in camp do I want to hear any reports about Micah Parsons. I don't want to hear any reports about Micah Parsons. We get it.
Wait. What if it's this report? It's fun watching Micah Parsons when they're doing like linebacker work over here, and then he just turns and sprints to the other side of the field to go hang out with the defensive ends to go do that. And that. It's fun to watch him.
Is drink water. Let's be honest. He drinks water with grace. He drinks water with excellence. One thing I do notice about Micah Parsons, and this happens with a lot of the elite talented players. Micah Parsons hates the pre-individual work. You can tell in his body language. When he's over there with the linebacker coach and they're hitting the pad and moving it, he absolutely despises it.
Wait. I have to stop you because did you see any video of him doing that yesterday, or are you just saying that you know who he is?
I watched it yesterday.
Okay, because yesterday, yes, he's standing there and he's like, I know we have to hit the pad. And he did it the first time and he didn't really rock the pad and he had to do it again and he's like, fine. And Jabril Cox, who's trying to like compete for snaps, is out here destroying this thing. And Micah's like, I know we have to do this crap before we go play football.
And for guys like me, like coaching, and this is how pro sports works. Most of the coaches, and I don't care what position you coach, it's very hard at times and difficult to yell at a Micah Parsons. He just is. It's just the nature of the beast. Micah Parsons isn't the guy that gets screamed at. What coaches do is they scream at the Jesse Hollies of the world in hopes that it's coaching through me saying to Micah Parsons.
He hears it knowing that he's not really mad at Jesse Holley. He's not even really correcting Jesse Holley. He's trying to get through to CeeDee Lamb that he did it wrong by yelling at Jesse Holley.
Right. And he's like, come on, guys. What the hell are we doing? We got to come out of our breaks full speed. And I'm like, wait a second. I literally just ran with everything I had in me out of this break. How are you screaming at me doing this? But the guy that went before me was the number one wide receiver. So a lot of times when you watch those drills, like a coach will go, okay, good job, Micah. I'm like, that's a horrible rep by Micah. And then the next guy will go, he'll like, hey guys, hey listen up, guys. He'll stop the drill. And he'll go, hey, listen up, guys. Now listen, we got to hit this pad and we got to really thrust our hips and get rid of this thing and go get to the football.
And it was Malik Jefferson who literally just broke the whole sled because he hit it so hard. And you stop the drill after that.
Right. And so that is the funny part I love to watch about. But I don't want to hear anything else about Micah Parsons because he does everything excellent at practice. Unless he's getting hurt, I don't want to hear. Micah's going to be good. We understand that and we know it. There's nothing that should surprise you when he goes around Terrence Steele, when he goes around Tyron Smith, when he runs down a player. There's nothing that is going to surprise you unless he sets himself on fire pre-practice and literally practices the whole day and does not have a degree burn on him. That's the only thing that I'm going to be surprised at when it comes to Micah Parsons on the football field.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good, and every time that he lines up, he's really good. Against whoever is trying to stop him from being really good, he's going to do really good, really well. Good, well, he's going to do well. He's going to do great. Yeah, so today I'll just be watching. It's tough, again, because the defensive line is so hard to gauge. So it's like my eyes are naturally going to go to the – honestly, let's pull back the curtain all the way. Until they say 7-on-7, practice is boring. Like watching the individual work, if you've never seen a guy, cool. I see Cavante Turpin. I now see how he moves. I can talk about him and whatnot. I now see how John Ridgway is built. But it doesn't get fun until you hear the word 7-on-7. They get to like the fourth or fifth period. And then you start watching guys actually compete against each other, then the 11-on-11 and all that. And so I'd imagine the reports today that I'm going with will still be about coverage guys and linebackers and wide receivers because it's all you can really watch. Like I can't really tell you how Tyler Biadasz is doing when no one's wearing pads.
Right.
But if I had to, I would tell you Connor McGovern and Tyler Smith are bad at left guard as of today.
You know, another thing that's interesting at training camp that you'll see, and this is at all practices, this is pads on or pads off, is, and I've always hated this. I hate the pass is caught or run is made, and then you have the defender that runs by and does the whole tap you on the butt. And like, oh, no, you're down. You're tackled. And I'm like, that's not a tackle. Because I've seen a lot of you guys be in position to actually make full-blown, real-life tackles and miss them. So don't come by with like I'm already 2 steps behind you. And you just come by and and pat my butt on the way by and say, "Oh, you're down." Like that part, I always hate about practices in general because guys will always say, "Oh, I got you," and I'm just like, no.
That's actually and it always happens at least one time once the pads go on because they're still just telling you like, at most, thud it up a little bit and let it go. But then there'll be that one point in camp where a running back or a receiver catches a ball and he decides, I'm going to go over the boom. And then from that moment forward, it becomes tackle. And the coach is like, no, hey, we told you not to, but it takes one dude. It'll be a safety or it'll be like a running back who with something to prove that'll drop a helmet real hard. And then is when practice becomes fun and we get to report on practice.
So, got a question from Kevin Gray Sports. He says, "Why are defenses always ahead of offenses at the beginning of the training camp?" And I'll say this for the offensive side, like defensively, there are, even when you're at your basic, like you've learned a cover 2, a cover 1, a cover 3 from pop 1, right? So when you get into those coverages, nothing from that changes. Right, there may be different things that you may do off of that, different, stunts. There may be different, changes in that. But a cover 3 is a cover 3. That's not hard to pick up. But when you're trying to get on offense, 11 guys to kind of get on the same page with, okay, each receiver is running a different route. The tight end is running a different route. The running back has a different a route to run in this offense in every single play. Defense can run cover 3 every single play, and everybody can be in the same place at the same time every single down. Offense comes out every single play and it's something different. And so this takes a little bit of time and until you can, especially up front, until you can actually put pads on and really drive a guy into the ground. Once he gets by you, I'm either going to have to grab him or let him go. So the defense is always going to have a leg up when it comes to the beginning of training camp, because what they're learning is learned years and years and years and years ahead, instead of trying to get 11 guys on offense to get in the same page. But the defense always has a leg up until once you get into training, about week 2 or 3 in the training camp, and now everything has been installed, and now we're shooting audibles at you. Now we're shooting things at you. Now things change up a little bit, and we've seen that cover 3 look 18 times now. Now we know how you play. Like, you play cover 3 that way, Anthony Brown. You play cover 2 that way, Diggs. You play, you're the rat in the hole, Jaron Curse. We see how all this is being played now, and now we can kind of play off that. But the question I have for you, Jeffrey Cavanaugh, is have you seen, and I've just been looking at the videos and listening to all the reporters and everybody that was there, I'll say this, have you seen a favorite target early in training camp that Dak Prescott has liked?
Yeah, and I don't know if fans are gonna. I mean, I think some fans are gonna hate this, but what are you gonna do? Like, yes, Dak's favorite target is Dalton Schultz. That's Dak's favorite guy to throw to. Dak's gonna. Let's play a game. We're gonna play a game on 3, and Dave Hellman in the background. How many catches is Dalton Schultz gonna have this year on 3? 1, 2, 3. 100. We both said 100. Dalton Schultz is going to have 100 catches. Between the fact that CD is your only proven kick-ass wide receiver and how much he likes throwing and trusts throwing to Dalton Schultz is going to have 100 catches this year. He's going to go for 100 catches. He's going to go for 1,000 yards. He's going to have 8 touchdowns. And at the end of the year, because of that production, somebody's got to pay that dude like $18 to $20 million a year. And we're going to look at him and be like, he's solid. Like, he's solid. That ain't George Kittle. That ain't Travis Kelce. But that dude's numbers are about to go bonkers because the quarterback loves throwing to him. He's reliable. And he's a good player. And you don't have stud wide receivers.
Now let me ask you this, because I agree with what you and Dave both said. Y'all both said 100. I said 90. We're in the same ballpark. So, yes, relatively speaking, give or take a couple of catches, we're in the same ballpark. I think 1,000+ yards. I'm thinking 6 to 8 touchdowns. Like, I'm thinking this may be a guy, when you look at the end of the year, from a tight end perspective, barring any injuries, he may be in the conversation number-wise as one of the best tight ends in the National Football League. And, give or take how, playoff goes and championship goes, he may be a guy who may be selected to go to the Pro Bowl. Maybe not as a starter.
He's going Pro Bowl. Yeah. Well, let me think. Kittle's in the NFC, but he might get hurt. He's going.
Yeah. So, again, the Cowboys now come into this and saying, we have one or two options. We're going to have to grossly overpay him when we had an opportunity to give him a deal a year ago, this year, or you're going to walk and presumably get a comp pick for him. How does that play over with – because if he gets 100 catches – his favorite target, how does that now play over with your quarterback saying, wait a second, you got rid of – this is the second year in a row you got rid of Now, another favorite target of mine, last year it was Amari Cooper. This year is Amari Cooper. Next year is Dalton Schultz. Like, as a quarterback, what is going on from Dak Prescott's perspective if he walks next year because they're not going to pay him?
Yeah, and I guess you could, in theory, tag him again. It would be a big old number. What is it, 11 this year? So I don't remember exactly the formula of this, but it'd probably be like 15 or 16 million, something like that. I guess you could do that again. I always felt like as soon as they tagged him, the plan was that they were going to draft a guy that was going to be his replacement. Now, that means that Jake Ferguson out here at camp needs to, as we go along, move up the depth chart and start showing that he can be that. But I think that's the Cowboys, what that was or is the Cowboys' plan, is to replace him after this year on the cheap. But when you're just watching, and look, it's 2 practices in, when you watch the tight ends run around out here and you watch the tight ends trying to get open and the way they catch the ball and the way that they move, it's Dalton Schultz and then everybody else, and it ain't close. So, like, if you think that you have a replacement that's going to be waiting in the wings, he's going to have to prove it, and we'll watch and we'll see. But he's better than a lot of people give him credit for. Like, I think a lot of people don't give Dalton Schultz the credit because he's not like a tackle breaking machine and he doesn't run a 4.5 or whatever. But he's a good player. Like, dude gets open, dude catches the ball. He's strong for today's NFL tight ends. He can block-ish. He's a good player. And, that'll be danger zone. They might actually need to – because you can tell yesterday listening to him, they didn't really try to get a deal done.
Right.
Like he did. He wanted to. His side wanted to. But he was kind of like, I'm only going to address this once. Obviously, I was disappointed, but I know that we put our best foot forward to try to get something done. So basically, he was saying the team was not. We're playing on the tag, and then we'll see.
I think Dalton Schultz understands the business. He understands. Listen, guys, I would like to have another really good year, but that's not given. You're right. I don't come with the pedigree name. I don't come with the name that people are going to say take chances on with another team if something doesn't work out. So I'm trying to get this deal done as best as I possibly can to secure my future, because I'm not like Amari Cooper. I wasn't a first round pick, a top 10 pick. I can't, I'm not George Kittle. I'm not Travis Kelce. If I get released, I think you'll find the team 100%. But it's not like if Kittle got released or Kelce got released or other guys get released, they find teams, immediately. But we'll see. Like I said, I agree with you and David both that he's going to have a terrific year. I think he's going to be Dak's favorite target, like literally favorite. Like CD's going to be the most explosive, and CD's going to have a lot of big plays. But when you look at just like favorite and security blanket and just always where I need him to be right on time type target, I think that's going to be Dalton Schultz all year.
And I always go back and forth on if that's a good thing. Like, is it good that you have a reliable guy that is going to move the chains? Hell yeah, that's great. Do you kind of wish that your guy that you wanted to throw to all the time was Aaron Rodgers throwing to Devontae Adams, Matt Stafford throwing to Cooper Kupp, Keenan Allen with the chart? Well, Keenan Allen's not very explosive, but he's a good player. But you know what I mean? Like, part of me is like, no, I need 170 targets for CD and 90 for Schultz. But he going to go off. He going to have big numbers. All right, Jesse, I got to get ready to go do other things out here at camp. How are you? Go teach the kids, do the things. Do you have a sign off?
Today's actually my last day here. So I have to do one. I'm doing one coaching point in the morning. No field stuff today because it rained really, really bad last night. So I got one coaching seminar in the morning, and then I'm off for the rest of the day. So, yeah.
Well, I love it. I love all the things you do. Jesse Holley, if you guys don't know, Mr. Fourth and Long on Twitter, former Dallas Cowboys receiver, also has a heart of gold, is a mental health champion, is a charitable man, helps the kids.
I made vertical gardening yesterday as well.
I saw that.
Gardening. That is, gardening is not for me. There's bugs in Colombia that I didn't know God made, and holy moly guacamole, some scary stuff, bro. I'm freaking out there. It's hot. We're in the freaking middle of nowhere. I mean, it is. I've never seen these bugs before. I'm like, stuff is falling off the trees. It's in my hair. I got to take my t-shirt off. because I got time. It's some wild stuff out here, and I'm just like, and I'm supposed to be the biggest, right? And they're like, "Come on, how are you afraid?" I'm like, "No, I've never seen that bug before. It's that long. It has legs and it has teeth. I don't want no parts of that." They're like, "Oh no, it's great for the fertilizer." I'm like, "Whatever. Let's just get this thing going so I can get back on this bus and head back to the hotel."
Be safe. Be safe out there, Jesse. Protect yourself against those men in black giant. All right. We're out of here, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. And remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everyone. I love you.